correct, right. So the new piece in the one, what's going to happen now is that someone's going to be able to click bind and issue. And they're going to do that, which you haven't been doing up to this point. The bind and issue button is literally going to send the one rater data. It's going to export it to our policy issuance system. So that's why I asked, who's going to be selecting bind and issue on the one side?
It's going to be our UAs, whoever binds our policies now.
Okay. So what's going to happen is your UA is going to bind, either is going to bind and they're going to select issue. And when they do that, I will show you what happens. Where are you folks? Here's your test policy. So your users over there, provided they have access to this system, when they select issue, it's going to send the data here. And it's if they have access to the system, it's going to open here.
Okay.
And then they don't need to do anything. They don't need to do anything. They just need to go away, like sign off.
Where is here? Where is here? Do they?
This is our system.
Okay, and
this is our system.
All right, but where is it that they need to go to get to your system?
They have to go through the one, and I don't have access to that. That's the Nautilus side.
One.
Okay.
That rater.
Once they click on bind and issue, that's automatically going to take them into your system.
If you grant them access to do that.
Okay, but
so
they
have to be listed as users.
In your one system?
Yeah, they're going to click on bind and issue.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to see, so they don't have to go log in separately into your system.
They should not. They should not. It should open right here. Not here. You're looking at a different. It should open our system at that page that you saw. And they don't need to do anything. If your UAs do not issue policies, they just need to get out and go back to the one rater and do their, do what their next piece is. For policy issuers and folks who endorse, you're going to sign in to policybuilder.vertafore.com with your login and password, which none of this has been set up yet, with your login and password, and you folks will come to this listing. So all of the policies that have been issued, and by issued, I just mean the issue button over in the rater has initiated the policy information. Those are going to be sitting here, and you guys will have this status here that says new policy. This signifies that it's waiting for you to physically issue the policy itself. So you have a couple of things. You're going to come in here, and of course, this is my test database. I've just got a few things in here. I actually do have 2 pages, but you could have 200 pages. So you can use any of these filters, or you can actually just come directly here. You'll search for the policy number or the insured name, and then you'll be able to access that just by clicking on the policy. And this is what it looks like to you folks.
Okay, now I have a quick question. Are UAs normally review the data that's being entered into the one, so we can, it either has to change or they amend stuff? I mean, they change stuff. Is that still going to be possible?
Sure. So they're not going to hit that. They're not going to hit that bind or issue button until they've done all of what they need to do. And the only time they're going to do that is when it's ready for you folks to issue the policy.
Okay, so
now,
this is where I was going with my question. So if I come here, I'm the policy issuance person. Once I pick it up here, I can't change name insured, or if it's something misspelled on the address or anything, I can't change it here?
You can. It will not flow back to the one. So it's a one-way street from Nautilus' system to ours, meaning, yes, you can, and I will certainly show you how to do that. You can go and where it says edit policy, you'll come back into here, and then all of these, so let's say that the insured information, there was a spelling, or it's the wrong address, you folks can make the changes here, and it will print. Your changes will print on the policy. but
So
it will not correct.
But it will
the
not
one.
correct the one. So if I have an
No.
endorsement in your system, in the one system is incorrect, correct?
So endorsements are a whole different ball of wax, and the reason for that is because they are absolutely 100% manual. You come in, once the policy's been issued out of this system, you're going to come in here and you're going to initiate an endorsement here, and you are absolutely correct. Nothing that you do in this system will go back to the one. Not at this time. I know they're working on it, but not at this time. So everything that you do on this side will, at renewal or at some other designated point, because I don't know enough about the rater to make a decision for you, you'll have to get that information over there in order to produce a renewal. Because right now, the renewal would be incorrect if you've endorsed it. Or if anybody on the policy issuance team comes over here and starts making changes, whether they're correct or not, they're not going to go to the one, which means someone's going to have to go back over there and do that. It also, of course, as you know, doesn't change anything in AIM. So your users are still having to make whatever changes you need on your agency management side.
Well, that means we have to change it in AIM. We have to change it in the policy builder, and we have to change it in the one if we want everything to be correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Right. So it doesn't prevent you.
Now let me ask you a question. Because we issue some endorsements in our management system, is it still going to mess Nautilus up with this new system?
Well, so the answer to that is I'm not sure. I will tell you that when you finalize the policy or finalize an endorsement in our system, it automatically sends them a copy of the document.
Correct.
So when you finalize the policy, it automatically sends them an email, a policy, and if you do an endorsement, it automatically sends them the endorsement, the actual document itself. So anything not done in this system, you have to continue doing whatever it is that you're doing now.
Whatever it is that we're doing, yeah. It's because we type some endorsements in our management system, and Nautilus has approved it. We type our AIs on it in that system, so.
Right, and I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't be doing. It is not up to me to make that decision. I can show you this, and then we can get off the phone, and you can say, yeah, we're not doing that. That's entirely up to you, but it won't affect me at all. It's definitely an organization's decision, and of course, obviously, something you want to discuss with Nautilus as to when you use it, how you use it, to the extent that you use it. Okay.
Okay, so for the
definitely not up to
issuance side of it, you just go through the screens?
Well, assuming everybody did what they were supposed to on the one side, you guys shouldn't have to do anything when you get to this point except generate your policy number. Generate your policy document. So you can certainly go through each of these to make sure that the information in here is correct. That would be the information that's come over from the one before you generate the PDF. But you also have an opportunity. I don't know who does your review of your policy documents, but you can also produce this PDF, look at it, and then decide it's not correct and go make changes. Okay, so when you generate the PDF from here, you'll see that there's a list of the required forms. This information comes from the one, based on whatever criteria. I think it's the GL information. Based on the type of policy it is, you may or may not have available optional forms. In this case, I am using probably some sort of amusement park or amusement center class code. So it's bringing me up some forms that might be available to me. If you don't make a decision about forms, then you can just bypass this whole screen and you'll just select continue. Now, I did mention at the beginning, I am using a test database. My test database only goes to Nautilus's test library, which is not maintained. So some information is probably obsolete or definitely has been changed. That's why when this screen opens, you folks shouldn't see this. You shouldn't need to. It's looking for information. It says this page here is waiting for you to enter information. But since it will already have been done, either at the one or previous to selecting Generate PDF, you don't need to worry about anything here.
Yeah, because isn't the E001 the deck page?
It is. And the only reason all this stuff isn't showing up is because I didn't put all the information in, nor do I have access to the one to push data over.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. The only time that you have to be concerned is if you see this red bar, and the red bar indicates that this is mandatory, required information. It will not issue the policy unless you put it in here. But chances are, yours is already filled out and you won't see it.
Now, let me ask you a question. We have 2 offices and we have 2 agency codes. Do we have to have 2 different kind of logins or anything like that? Is it going to know that we're using our Dallas office or our Houston office?
It is when they set it up. That's part of the setup, part of that system admin setup.
Oh, that's what Jose's going to do, is what you're saying?
Yes, that's correct. Right. So your users will all have the login and password, and you will all see the information, but it will assign your agency code based on the location, based on whatever Nautilus has put into the one. So they're 2 separate systems. They just talk to each other.
Now, let me ask you another, I'm sorry. On our C2010s, and I think it's a CG2404, those are the AIs and our waivers. We have a special wording on some policies that go, where we put the location. Are we going to have access to put that on there?
If the form exists here and information belongs on the form that is not in the system, it's going to give you a blank field just like this, and you can type in it or you can copy and paste into it. Okay, so it's still going to give you the ability to do that on the form.
And I do see that if there's a minimum premium policy, it is going to let us put the MP. Because we have I
don't know. So if that's...
It was there. If you go further up at the top, it said something about minimum premium when you were at the S150.
Let's see here.
See right there, select MP for minimum premium.
Right. So the reason that, and don't get hung up on this one, I wish I could get rid of this, but I can't because it's a test system. Don't get hung up on the fact that there's something there that needs to be chosen. You won't see that if MP has been selected in another location. So if you have the ability to choose MP on the one rater side, it should flow through to here, and you shouldn't see this option.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, because we do have quite a bit of policies that are MP.
Right, and you should, so that information should flow from the one if it's being recorded on the one.
Okay. So what you're really, so you're really saying is that our UA has to continue checking the one to make sure everything is correct before she binds the policy.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. So that means that when Jose gets in touch with her, he's going to have to set up like all the North Texas stuff, all the Houston stuff.
have to have 2 logins for each UA. And yeah, they have to log in here.
Yeah, but you don't have to use, we don't have to have 2 logins, correct?
You only have, there's only one login and password for this particular site. That's correct.
No,
it's a different login and password from the one.
Oh.
That's my guess. I don't know how those are set up on that side.
Okay. Any questions?
Okay, so continue on.
Yep. So we'll just continue, which is actually all we've asked the system to do right now is generate the policy document. So that's what it's doing. Because this is a policy document, this is a policy issuance system. It has no logic behind it to calculate or remember that what you really wanted was XYZ. It's basically just going to produce the policy documents based on Nautilus's library setup. So very much like DocuCore, basically you pick the forms and the information flows onto the document, and then you produce this PDF. So you have an opportunity right here to download this, which I will do. It's pretty fast.
You clicked on download full PDF?
I did.
Okay.
Yep, and then here it is.
Okay, so let's just say, for example, let's just say, for example, this is a PDF. I guess it's your proof. I guess it's just a proof. I noticed that we don't have a street address on there.
Right. Don't do anything with this one. So what I want to show you is that this opens up in your PDF driver, whichever one you're using. I happen to have Adobe Acrobat Pro DC.
Okay.
Once it opens here, it has done nothing but produce this document. I can just cancel it.
Okay.
Go back to editor, and I can say that's not the right insured address. So I'll make my change. I'll go to review policy, and I will start the process again. The good thing is that as long as you're here and you start the process, it is going to remember the information that I already put in.
Okay.
So when we get back to this policy data screen that you saw where it's missing all this information, the information that I entered is now gone, because those red fields that I entered data appear like it's remembered that I entered a data for that, so it's okay. So I just have to select continue. So you're not going to lose information if you go back and edit, unless of course you edit off that form, obviously then that would be. So we'll go ahead and you'll just go through the process again. You'll generate, and you can do that as many times as you need to. So if the process is to have somebody else review this before it ever goes anywhere, that's a good idea. So we just download it again so that I can have a copy of it, and it's over here on my Adobe. So rather than go to editor, which is going to allow you to edit it and then go through the generating the PDF, I'm just going to go to summary, because I've decided that I like what I have, and I'm willing to finalize this. So right now this policy is pending mail out. If you need to, you can go home. It's 4 o'clock. You're not going to issue this policy. You want to go home, and you'll sign out. You'll come up here and you'll log out, and the next day you'll come in and you'll be here, and you'll be able to find your policy, and you'll see that it is pending mail out. If you are given permission to do so, there'll be a little trash can. You can say, never mind, I don't want this policy, I'm going to trash it. If you trash it from our system. It means you need to go back to the one and push it through. You really shouldn't have to. It'll just be up to whether or not your system administrator grants people access to delete policies. But here we go. We'll just say, well, I'm ready. It's morning. I'm ready to finalize this policy. We use the term mail out. This does not mail out anything. The term is absolutely does not make any sense to me. It should say finalize. as far as I'm concerned. By selecting this mail out button, it does two things. One, it's going to tell the system that the policy is finalized, and it's going to send a copy of that final document to Nautilus. So once that's been finalized and it is in force.
Ms. Terry, I have a quick question before you go any further.
Sure.
Right there where it says taxes and fees total, we do have stamping fee, correct?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever you need. It's going to come over.
Okay, from the one.
This is
That one's from the one.
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, that's just test data. That's just me making stuff up just to have a figure in there. That's,
That just caught my eye, so I was just making sure.
Yeah, nope, you are correct. It will. So once that mail out function's been completed, the policy is no longer available for editing. And of course, changes can only be made by endorsement. And when you select that mail out function, it automatically sends a copy of the completed policy to Nautilus. All of the other supporting documents should be sent through normal channels. There were no changes made to that process. So whatever you're used to doing for supporting documents, or if it's not you guys, it might be the UAs, they're going to continue to do that.
Processing. Yeah, it's the policy issuance.
Okay. So whatever that process is right now, it's going to stay. The one thing is now, of course, you've produced this document, and here it is. You need to get it into AIM or ImageRight if you're using ImageRight, because obviously you need to mail it out to your client. Just because you selected mail out here does not mean that it did anything other than produce a copy for Nautilus. The one that is sitting over in your Adobe is the one that you're going to
print to our imaging system.
Right. Yes. Correct. And then you go over, to the agency management system or your document management system, and you send it off to your client. However, whatever that process is, none of that is changing at this point.
Okay.
That's it.
So that's the way we issue a policy. Okay.
That's it. That's the policy issuance. Correct. Right. All right. So same thing. Everybody goes home. Now you can see it's in force. Nobody can delete it. The only thing you can do is endorse it. So if you have an endorsement request come in, you're first going to go to your agency management system. Since I know AIM, I've been using AIM for 16 years. I know you're going to go to AIM. You're going to start the endorsement process over there because you are going to need the information. So you can process an endorsement in here, and I will show you how to do that. We'll just come in and we'll find the policy and select endorse. It's going to say there aren't any pending endorsements. Do you want to start a new one? Yes. If there were pending endorsements, it will not let you go by. So if endorsement number 1 is sitting there because you're waiting for information from a broker, an underwriter, or UA, and it's sitting there pending, someone else can't come in behind you and do another endorsement until something is done with the first one. Okay? They can't just, I can't remember if DocuCore lets you do that, but you can't just let it sit and whip and then move on. It's going to require you.
In DocuCore, you can let it sit there, but then we don't process them out of sequence. So, but at least it's sitting there and whip. Yeah.
Right. In this case, it's not going to allow you to process it out of sequence.
Correct.
At all.
Yeah, because we have 2 different teams that one handles the money, one handles the non-money. So what happens is, the money person can go in there and do their stuff, but they can't process it until the prior endorsement's been processed.
If there's one in process in here, that's correct. So let's say that there is endorsement 1, which is a non-premium bearing endorsement and no money. And then the other thing is an endorsement. It's endorsement 2 for a premium change. Your endorsement, your premium change individual can process an endorsement in here before the non-premium bearing endorsement, as long as they finish it before the person with the non-premium bearing endorsement comes in first. if that non-premium bearing endorsement is supposed to be numbered endorsement 1, then folks are going to have to know that they can't cross. If you've got 2 departments, you can't have somebody, I mean, I don't know how you're going to work that out. That's a workflow thing. But if 2 endorsements come into your house.
If endorsement number 1 has already been labeled number 1, I'm number 2. I got number 2. I can go in there and do mine, but mine is going to change to 1 because the one that had the 1 didn't do her stuff.
That's right. Yes, because this system only numbers them in the order in which you enter them.
Okay, I see exactly what you're saying.
Okay, good. All right, great. All right. So, from an endorsement standpoint, you have a new field that's been added here, and that's this endorsement premium. And you have to edit this section because you need to enter the date. Otherwise, it will automatically assume it is the inception date.
Data policy.
Yeah. So we're going to make this one effective 8/1, and we'll say that we're going to increase liability. Notice here, taxes and fees are not included in the total premium change field. You'll need to manually add them. Not only that, you will have to calculate the midterm premium adjustment for this. This does not do short rate or midterm premium endorsement calculations. There's no calculating behind the scenes here.
It doesn't.
So that's why you would.
No.
No.
They're manual. That's why she said they're manual. You got to enter.
Everything's manual. Right. So you've got to go to AIM first and get that information. Yeah. So I know in AIM will calculate the taxes for you, calculate your short rate or pro rata, and that's the information you bring over here. Then you have to add in your taxes and fees. And I'm making stuff up. You can obviously add more than one.
What? Wait, stop for a second. Where are you getting the total premium change from?
That's your per premium, $1,000.
How do you know what that is?
You went to AIM. She went to AIM first.
It's a test. It's just, I have no idea. I have to make things up as we go along.
In order for them to know how much the annualized premium is for an endorsement, they have to go somewhere and rate it.
That's what she's saying. They need to go to AIM.
Yep.
AIM can't.
Everything. Now everything's going to be done before you ever get here. So when your endorsement request comes in, I'm assuming it must go to someone who rates it, and then it goes to the person who processes it. Well, somebody's got to process it in AIM for your invoice. And then somebody's got to process it as an endorsement. So they're either going to DocuCore, they're doing it out of AIM, or if the policy. Yep.
No, what she's saying is right now, no. The only thing that gets rated is the policy in 1. For endorsements, like Lisa, Edra, and all them, they go into AIM. They rate it up, and then they go into AIM. They put in the pure premium, and it's given the information.
I got that. I'm trying to figure out where they're rating it up. If they're increasing the limits, what tells them it's going to be $1,000 annual premium?
They go.
This isn't annual. This isn't annual.
The annual premium.
I know, but
no.
It's hard to rate it.
No, this isn't annual. This is what's going to print on the endorsement. If the annual premium's $1,000 and this ends up being $888, that's what I have to put in there.
No, what she's saying is where are they rating it? Do they go back into 1 and rate it?
I don't know. I don't know where you're required to rate it. Yeah, okay. I guess I would say wherever they're rating it now.
1 to 1. That's what I was getting at.
Okay.
What's important to know here is that this is just a manual process. So this is your net premium change, the surplus lines taxes based on that net premium change, and your stamping fee based on, if it applies, that net premium change. And then it lists that information here. It changes nothing else, nothing, unless you physically change it. Okay. So remember I said, well, we'll make this a premium bearing endorsement and we're going to change the limit of liability. So I can come in here, and I know that this is not something people offer, but I can come in here and I can make this change on our side, and it will show that you made a change. It goes nowhere. It just stays here in our system. But if you were to reprint the document, so what is that, the S-150 or the E-001, depending on where this falls into,
That goes on the S-150.
it would actually print 3 million on there for you. So if that's your process, I have a lot of people who say, no, we don't do that. We just write it up. And then I have some other people who say, yes, we do. We reprint the deck page every time they make a change.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay.
So where
Good.
do we type the information of what we're doing to the endorsement?
Oh, that's coming up next.
Okay.
Right. So now we've got our money figured out. We've made any changes.
$88, correct?
And then we're going to generate the PDF just like we did with the policy. It's going to show you the change endorsement.
Okay.
If you regularly do a change endorsement that requires that you add another form on, if there's an additional form that needs to be added to the policy, all you need to do is go look it up by the number, and if you select include, it will attach this form to here. And I'll leave this here, even though has nothing to do with what we're doing, but I'll leave it here so you can see. So we'll select continue. So you shouldn't see any of these other ones, but you will see this one, and that is the endorsement details.
So we're actually typing we're typing on the endorsement there.
Yes.
In consideration of an additional premium of 88, I think you put 88, it is hereby understood and agreed that the aggregate limit was amended from 2 million to 3 million.
You bet. And so this is what it'll look like.
Wow.
You do. You've got lots, and I'll show you. I'm not going to do this for the whole thing, but I want to show you what it looks like when I show you. So users would see as they're typing. They would be able to go, did I spell it right? Can I go in here and make a change? Yes, I can. So once they've typed in the information and they select continue, and in that space, if it's something that somebody has on a Word document because they type the same thing 800 times a day, you can copy and paste into that field.
Okay.
So here we are again. We're just at the point where the actual endorsement document is ready for you to download.
To review, to look at it.
To just review it and look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Outlook thing. So this is it. And then you've got all the space to about right. I think it ends about right there.
So it's automatically going to put in the premium for you. All that.
It's going to put in what I typed.
Correct.
That's it. It's going to put in what I typed. The only logic behind here is that if it's an additional premium, it's going to check this box. If it's a return premium because you used a negative sign, it's going to check this box. Or if it's zero, it's going to check the none.
So that means
it does know how to add.
So we have to make sure we put a negative. Like if I
put
negative,
For a return premium.
Yeah, we have to put. If this would have been a negative, I would have had to type negative $888. Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So
and the negative with the surplus line text.
So if our policy issuance staff forgets to put a negative, once they come here, they can say, well, dang, I messed up because it's supposed to be a return and I got it into AP. Yes.
And the same thing can happen. You just come back here and you'll say, nope.
Okay.
I need to go back. See, now this is a pending. So let me just show you. I go to endorse, see what it does. It says, hey, wait a minute, there's already one pending. You got to do something with it. So your user would be like, oops, I didn't do that right. Let me just go in and edit, and it's going to let them come back in and make any changes that need to be made.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And then you're going to go you're just going to, I'm not going to make any changes here, but
Right,
just
right.
go back in and you go through the process again. Generate the PDF. Here's your stuff. Notice it remembered that we did that SO15, but if we get there and we're like, we don't need that, we can take it off. It remembered what you wrote, what you've keyed in there, and it's going to produce that document again. So they have an opportunity. Any user that has the ability, the ability to see the PDF, here's your, we'll be able to review it and say, oh, geez, I didn't do that right. And
okay,
so here's
now
that
I do see that it's not stamped by, I guess ours will be stamped with Mr. Fink's signature.
I'm assuming as long as Jose does what he's supposed to do, you bet.
Okay.
That's on the system admin side.
Okay.
All right, so again, opportunity here. Otherwise, we're just going to go to endorsement, and you can see that it's pending mail out. You can go home. You can go home. You can sign out of here and go home and then come back in the next day, and it's going to do, you bet.
Okay.
You need to mail it out because mail out just means finalize. As soon as I mail this out, it's going to mail a copy. As soon as it says this, it doesn't even mail a copy. As soon as we do that, it's going to send a copy of the endorsement to Nautilus. And it's going to be saved in the system here. So, but you can reprint it if you need to. Otherwise, when you come back in, you'll see that the endorsement is here and it has been processed. The only way to fix this endorsement now is to endorse the endorsement.
I see.
Reverse it, reverse it off and then have to do it again. So basically, if you do an endorsement in here that's wrong, you're going to have to do an endorsement to get it off, endorsement number 2, and then endorsement number 3 to get it back on. But I'm pretty sure that's how DocuCore worked, or at least the last I remember.
Yeah, the only thing with DocuCore, Ms. Terry, is that you got to make sure you click on the home office copy. I see here we don't have to do none of that. Once we click, it's gone.
That's correct. That's correct. The opportunity to print the full PDF versus the fields is exactly what you would see in DocuCore, at the company and the broker version as opposed to the insured. So the insured has every form, and the company one just has the forms in which you entered data, right? Just the variable forms. You have the opportunity to do that here, but when you select mail out, it mails a full copy of the policy. Oh, actually, I know it sends a copy of the endorsement. I don't want to say that for certain. It mails to Nautilus. It emails to Nautilus the copy that they want.
The home office. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Nautilus? I'm going to do that. Okay. So the endorsement process is exactly the same no matter what you do. The only difference is, and there's on that document that I sent you, is when you cancel it. You don't use the endorse button to cancel, you use the cancel button to cancel. The reason for that is because once you cancel it, it will then give you a reinstatement button should you have to come back in and reinstate it.
That was my next question. Okay, so if I have if I have to cancel the policy, I come in here and cancel the policy. If I have a reinstatement, I come in here and reinstate the policy.
Yes, that's correct.
And that's a final cancellation like an endorsement?
It actually processes just like an endorsement. Yep. Same thing. You'll generate the document.
Now, do we have to enter the premium, or the premium's already going to be?
Nope. You're going to have to enter the premium. Everything is manual. Everything is manual. Yeah. It doesn't remember anything.
There was one other question I had, and I don't know.
Okay, one of the things you had said was that none of this feeds back into to one.
Correct.
So do they still have to go and endorse and cancel in one?
I don't know, because I don't know what the process is at the one. So I don't know that there is an endorsement process in the one. Nothing, as far as endorsements are concerned, nothing is being pushed from the one to our system. You come directly here to do the endorsement.
pushing the endorsements and the cancellations to Nautilus?
No, no, not the information. No, to Nautilus themselves, they get a copy of it, yes, but it doesn't go into the one.
Okay.
Data doesn't feed back. It's just a one-way street.
Yes, they get a
But they
copy
get a
of
copy.
the cancellation, the reinstatement, the endorsement, the policy from this policy builder.
Okay.
Once we click those buttons, they get it automatically. But we still have to send the documents the supporting documents.
Correct. That's correct. Okay, now the last thing for you folks is there's a renew button here. This is not for you. It does not work for you. It will not work. It will not produce the right policy documents. It is not. So just take this off of your radar if you can. We can't remove it from the screen because other people do actually use it. All renewals have to be entered into the one rater again and sent back through to VPB. So you will not use this renew button. And for any policy that has been endorsed here, those changes have to be entered into the rater at the time of renewal. Now, that may change. That's what I'm being told right now. I know that they're working on the integration between the two systems, trying to get more information back to the one. But for now, that's what you'll do.